It's midnight, and Akiba is practically empty. The silence is eerie. There's no sign of anyone near the coin locker. Considering the IBM 5100 size, it couldn't fit into the regular size lockers. She must have put it into one of the 3 larger lockers on the right. The bottom locker is still in use. Is the IBM 5100 inside? My heart starts pounding in my chest. I feel my face grow hot with excitement. We've been apart for so long, my partner, but now only a thin locker door separates us. Is this what love feels like? Oh. Yeah, let's not, Okabe. I force myself to consider the situation calmly. Is the IBM 5100 really inside? I want to check this right this instant. I can't believe I forgot to ask Moeka which locker she used. Should I get a crowbar or something to pry the locker open? If the IBM 5100 really is inside, and I steal it, what will happen to the world line? I have yet to cancel all the D-mails, which I thought was the only way to restore the original world line. But now the IBM 5100 is so close. Why can't I just reach out and take it? I know how to cancel Moeka's D-mail, so I can always do that if this doesn't work. Let's try it, just to be sure. First, I make a quick visit to the lab. Ignoring the complaints of the lab mems who stayed awake all night, I retrieve a makeshift crowbar from the development room. I return to the lockers and thrust the pointed up tip of the crowbar into the crack of the door. Oh boy. Yeah, I kinda thought something like that would probably happen. Just as I begin to pry, a shrill siren shatters the night. I look up to see the red lights of a patrol car coming this way. Their timing couldn't be worse. The police release me after about 30 minutes of scolding. I return to the coin locker to try to pry it open again. Immediately, another patrol car appears. This time they take me to the police station. Yeah, basically you can't get your hands on it, Okabe. It's not gonna happen. I'm stuck in an interrogation room all night, getting preached to by a policeman. I conclude that this is another effect of the attractor field convergence. No matter what I do, I cannot obtain an IBM 5100 on this world line. That's what fate has decreed. I get the police to call my father, and they finally release me. They didn't go so far as to arrest me, but the policeman, as well as my father, scold me harshly. I act apologetic, but in actuality, their words fall on deaf ears. After my father goes home, I head straight to Moeka's apartment. I tried calling her. I took the opportunity to memorize her phone number yesterday, but she wouldn't pick up at all. Before I get there, I send a mail to Daru asking him to check if the coin locker is still occupied. The door to Moeka's apartment is unlocked. I find Moeka hugging her knees in the corner, just as she was when I first found her.
IBN 5100を入れたのは右下のコインロッカーで合っているか？
なぜ
IBN 5100が入る大きさのロッカーはあそこには3つしかなかった。そのうち一番下のみが使用中。
Daru. Checked. The big locker on the lower right is in use. What's this about anyway? Don't make me your errand boy so early in the morning, fool.
もしお前が一番下に入れたというなら FB はまだ IBN 5100を回収していないことになる。この意味がわかるか？
Moeka frowns.
あそこに貼っていれば FB が回収しに来た時に会えるというか。その発想はなかったか？ラウンダーのくせに冷静さが欠けているぞ。
Oh, snap.
俺は張り込んでみようと思う。お前は？
会ってどうするの？
FB に携帯を借りる。
That's the best way to prevent Moeka from going to Yanabayashi Shrine.
会えない。会う勇気ない。幻滅される。
お前はとっくに幻滅されているか？最初から期待すらされていなかった。
Moeka's face contorts again. I'm being blunt. Not only because Moeka is Mayuri's murderer, but also because Moeka's weakness is starting to get on my nerves. Just like Daru's mail said, the locker is still occupied when I get there. I look around to make sure there are no patrol cars. No crowbars this time. I don't feel like getting arrested. I head across the street to Daibiru, hide behind one of its humongous pillars, and begin the stakeout. My legs are getting tired. I was going to borrow Mayuri's portable game console, but I decided I didn't need the distraction. Still, it's pretty tough to keep standing like this. I also need to stay inconspicuous. Someone might notice me if they notice me standing in the same place for hours. I wouldn't want a security guard to give me trouble. I mean, I guess there's not much to worry about that. I've already been here for 7 hours without incident. My legs are numb, so I squat and lean against the pillar. I'm so hungry. I'd love to go get some food, but I can't take my eyes off the locker. Just then, somebody taps me on the shoulder. FP? I try to leap to my feet, but my legs get tangled and I fall over. Moeka. Moeka's standing there, looking down at me with those glassy eyes.
Oh my. なんでここに?
私も張り込みを
She did come.
ダメかな?
なぜ心変わりした?
I stand up and dust off my clothes.
お前は FB とのメールだけの関係に居心地の良さを感じていた。その適度な距離感に依存していたはず。なのになぜ今さら一歩を踏み出そうと思った。
このままじゃ。
Moeka puts her head on her knees. She looks ready to cry. I've seen that expression once before, in her moonlit apartment.
FB からの連絡がなくなったら、私、世界との
断絶されるか。
Moeka nods faintly.
孤独に耐えられないくらい弱いのに FB の命令さえあれば容赦なく人も殺せるとはな。典型的な狂信者だよお前は。
And her cult leader, FB, abused her weakness before throwing her out like old clothes. It pisses me off. FB's cruelty, Moeka's weakness. I can't decide which one I hate more. Then, Moeka nervously brings out a convenience store bag.
なんだこれは。
Instead of answering, Moeka looks away. I look inside.
おお、パックの牛乳とアンパン。
His demeanor completely changed. Exactly what you need on a stakeout. There's enough for two.
もしかして差し入れか。
Moeka nods.
よし、許可する。お前も張り込みを手伝え。
How very considerate for the man who beat the shit out of her and pinned her down for like hours and hours, man. I don't think that in real life you would see that happen very often. Even though, granted, he did expose FB's using her, but I mean, she's still dependent upon FB despite that, so. Oh well. Now we can take turns watching, and we'll look less suspicious to passerbys. The night draws on, and still no sign of FB. We nap in 1-hour shifts, but it doesn't help the exhaustion. On top of that, I don't have anyone to talk to. Moeka can't keep a conversation going, so there's nothing I can do to stave off boredom. Blech. I went to the lab to shower just before dawn, but Karisu, who was working an all-nighter on the time leap machine, just glared at me. The wait finally ends just after 1 p.m. on the 13th. Someone comes to open the lower right locker. We watch from behind the pillar. It's a nondescript middle-aged man. He's dressed in a new suit, but it hangs rather poorly on him, as if he's not used to wearing it. Moeka shakes her head firmly. Maybe, maybe not. Or it could be someone from the Walker Company here to clear it out after weeks overdue. That would make all of us idiots. Moeka, FB, and me. The man has the key to the locker. He pays the late fee with 100 yen coins, then removes the cardboard box with the IBN 5100 inside. The man thought ahead and brought a pushcart. He puts the IBN 5100 onto the pushcart, and with a bit of effort, and begins walking away. The man heads straight for Akihabara Station. Strangely enough, he walks up to an overweight man standing in front of the ticket machine. The overweight man is wearing a t-shirt and has all the signs of an otaku. He doesn't seem to have anything in common with the first guy, who looks like an average salaryman. They transfer the IBN 5100 onto the overweight man's suitcase, or into the suitcase. After they exchange a few words, the overweight man enters the station alone. Then the guy in the suit leaves. What was the purpose of that transfer? Excuse me. Is the overweight man FB, or is he just another link in some kind of chain? At any rate, if we keep following the IBN 5100, we should reach FB eventually. We enter the station. The overweight man boards the Yamanote line. We board the next car and keep watch through the connecting door. It's a weekday afternoon, so there aren't many passengers. 30 minutes later, we arrive at Shinjuku Station. Here, the train sees a sharp increase in passenger traffic. Moeka pulls my sleeve. The overweight man is slipped into the stream of departing passengers. He's about to exit onto the platform. We follow him, but due to our slow reaction, we have to push our way through the boarding passengers. The train doors close, and it slowly departs. The man starts walking towards the exit, so we have to follow close behind or we'll lose him. But then I stop in my tracks. The man is empty-handed. His suitcase is missing. What? For a second, I think we followed the wrong man. But no, it's definitely him. We watched him the whole time he was on the train. There's no doubt he had the suitcase when the train arrived in Shinjuku. Could he have passed it on to someone else in the crowd? Oh man. They know how to lose a tail. Now we got to go back. Alright, here we go again. I return to the lab and leap an hour back. I find myself inside the train. I know it's bad manners to use my phone on the train, but this is an emergency. According to the train's display, we're about to leave Otsuka for Ikebukuro, 3 stops to Shinjuku. Moeka's next to me, acting inconspicuous. I peek at the overweight man in the next car. It doesn't look like Moeka's caught on yet. Moeka's eyes widen. The train arrives at Shinjuku on schedule. Just to make sure, I'll have Moeka follow the man when he gets off. Before the doors open, I stealthily move to his car. He still has his suitcase with the IBN 5100.
Shinjuku.
The doors open and the passengers spew out. The overweight man leaves too, just like last time. However, he leaves the suitcase on the train. And now passengers from Shinjuku board. Someone walks up to the abandoned suitcase. It's a woman in her 30s, pushing a baby stroller. There's no baby. The woman casually loads the suitcase into her stroller and sits down. After witnessing that scene, I return to the neighboring car. I need to be careful. These guys are serious about avoiding pursuit. The train starts moving. I contact Moeka so that we can regroup later. After that incident, the package swaps couriers like a hot potato, snaking around the tracks that run through Tokyo like a web. Whenever they give me the slip, I time leap and resume the chase. Finally, the courier and package get aboard the Hibiya line and return to Akihabara Station, where it all began. I recognized the last courier. He's one of the men who raided the lab with Moeka. Dark skin, crew cut. The one who hit me with his gun. The man easily carries the 25-kilo package out of the station. We follow. A car honks its horn. Moeka and I immediately hide. Peering out from cover, I see a white flatbed parked in front of the station. A muscular man hops out of the driver's seat. I know that face. No, it can't be. I desperately tried to organize my thoughts. That's Tennoji Yugo, the owner of the Braun 2 workshop. Mr. Braun. Why? Why is he here? Does this mean he's connected to FB? To the Rounders? Was the Braun 2 workshop just a front for CERN? Is that how he could afford to keep it open? What's going on here? His shop is right below the lab. If he's working for the enemy, then... I shiver at the thought. Stop. Let's not rush to conclusions. He might just be another courier. We watch from a distance. Tennoji takes the suitcase from the crew cut man and loads it into the backseat of his car. Then he gets into the car, alone, and takes off towards Showadori. I stare after, in disbelief. Wow. Mr. Braun. I don't know. I time leap several hours before the first man arrived at the coin locker. Then I explained the situation to Moeka. My plan is to get ahead of the package. After killing some time at Starbucks, we rent a car. I don't have a license, so Moeka's driving. We go to the street in front of the roundabout, facing Showadori, and park near Yadobashi Camera. Now we wait.
緊張しているのか。肩に力が入りすぎているぞ。運転歴はどれぐらいだ？
ペーパー。
ペーパーって、ペーパードライバーということか。勘弁してくれ。事故るなよ。
I was surprised Moeka had a license in the first place. Apparently FB told her it would come in handy for her rounder work. I have Moeka wait in the car while I keep a lookout on the roundabout. The white station wagon's already stopped there. From this distance, I can clearly see Tennoji in the driver's seat. Nobody else is riding. The crew cut guy should arrive just before 5 p.m. As expected, the crew cut man arrives right on time, effortlessly dragging the suitcase behind him. It feels weird seeing the exact same scene from a different angle. I hurry back to the car, where Moeka's waiting. The station wagon rolls past us. It takes a left turn at the Showadori intersection, towards Okajimachi. Moeka sets the car in motion. Finally, we arrive at Tennoji's house on Okajimachi. This is the house where Suzuha lived, her rusty old mountain bike still sitting out front. Tennoji brings the IBN 5100 inside. We stop a little further down the road and keep watch.
どういうこと？ FB はどこ？
I'm confused. I'm so confused because that was Suzuha's IBN 5100. So without the Rounders getting involved, it makes sense that it would go back to Mr. Braun because Suzuha was trying to get the IBN 5100 to Okabe, but why the Rounders and Moeka and who is FB and what is going on? I'm so confused. Okay.
あの家に運び込んだことが何を意味するかだ。一時的な保管場所ということなのか。それとも。
Is he FB? Does he know FB? Moeka insists that FB is a woman. So maybe it's Tennoji's wife, whom I've never met. I have Moeka showed me one of FB's mails. M4, it's true that you're not very good with people, but I think that's just part of what makes you unique and special. Besides, you have no trouble talking to me, do you? Honestly, M4, there's nobody else who works as hard as you do. I'm very thankful for that. I'm glad you joined the Rounders. Even if nobody else values you, I'll always look out for you. Feel free to email me whenever you like. Oh yes, since you're finally in Nagoya, you should try some of the local delicacies. It's not good for your health to keep eating convenience store food. Or do you not like miso, M4? In any case, a girl your age needs to eat better. I recommend the firm miso stew. Your next mission is to go to Akihabara in Tokyo, so find an apartment by next week. I deposited a special bonus in your account, so feel free to use it. Talk to you soon, your mother, FB. She kept a lot of mails archived like this one. Yes, definitely don't want spoilers, Guardian. I'm just all rhetorical. I'm confused, but I really like that, because I have no idea what to expect, and I'm enjoying that.
M4 というのが私のコードネーム。それも FB がつけてくれた。
Moika's a mailing machine. She sent FB nearly 10 mails a day, but FB replied to every single one. You'd have to be a saint to reply to all those emails. No wonder Moika was so dependent on FB.
今度はここで張り込みだな。
I have Daru set up a wireless infrared camera on the telephone pole down the street. We park a couple of blocks away and watch the video feed. The next day, Tennoji goes to work on his moped like usual. He returns after sunset. There's no sign of his daughter, Nai, or his wife. Something finally happens early Sunday morning. Just before 3 a.m., 6 people show up at Tennoji's house. It's dark, but I recognize them. They're the Rounders who raided the lab with Moika. Moika doesn't show much of a reaction. I thought she knew them. I ask, but she's never met them before. It looks like on this world line, Moika's been cut off completely. Were they done with her when she found them in IBN 5100? Tennoji comes outside and loads the IBN 5100 into the station wagon. Then the 6 men get in and drive away. Tennoji sees them off and then goes back inside his house.
今度はどこへ?
I'm interested in Tennoji's story, but the IBN 5100 will lead us to FB. We decide to follow the station wagon. The pursuit ends at Narita International Airport. The 6 men, IBN 5100 in tow, board a plane headed for France. France, CERN's home country. What does this mean?
天王寺の妻が FB の可能性がある。
Since there's been no sign of FB so far, she must be an extremely cautious individual, but the evidence suggests only one possibility. On World Line Alpha 1, Moika's men attacked the night the time leap machine was completed. Their timing was perfect. It makes sense if you assume that Tennoji is closely linked to FB. He was right downstairs the whole time we were discussing our plans. FB knew exactly what we were up to. We were dancing to her tune all along. When we get back to Akiba, Moika and I start walking towards Tennoji's house. But on the way, I get an angry call from Kurisu demanding an update, so I decide to take care of that first. She's so pissed. New mail! Mayuri! I saw Orion last night. It was really pretty. I hope you were looking up at the same time, because then it would be like we were close by, even though we were really far away. Stars are romantic, if you think like that, aren't they? Yeah, I saw it too. First night in a while I've had time to look at the stars, but I don't think it was Orion. That's a winter constellation. Alright. Kurisu's mad. Nothing new here. Kurisu sighs when she sees me. We've been a little busy.
ずっと立て込んでいたのだ。
Yeah. Kurisu glances at Moika.
もしかして心配していたのか？
私じゃないわよ。私は別にあんたがどこで何をして
るか知ったことじゃないけど。Nothing to do with that. Nothing.
マユリはすごく心配してた。見てて痛々しいぐらいにね。せめてあの 子にだけは連絡してあげなさいよ。
Now that she mentions it, it feels like I haven't talked to my Yuri in forever. Can I just call her now? Because I would. Probably can't. Yeah.
全てはマユリを救うため。敵の正体がもうすぐ分かりそうなんだよ。
敵？
Karisu glances at Moeka again. Moeka is completely expressionless. She's lightly kicking the dirt in boredom. She hasn't used her phone once since we began the search for FB.
彼女は敵じゃないの？
敵だが真実を求めるため協調体制をとっている。
マユリを殺す人なんでしょ？
Several times.
そうだ。
However, Moeka is just a pawn, and one that no longer poses a threat. To save my Yuri, I need to capture the king. Well, the king's cell phone.
まあいい。それでこれからどこか行くんでしょ？私もついていく。
正気か助手よ。
正気だけど助手じゃないから。
危険かもしれないぞ。
Karisu falters for a moment, but quickly tightens her expression.
今日の私は死ぬことになってる。
I've experienced the future, so I know who dies
い
today.
や、お前は死なない。
だったら問題なし。世界から死なないことを保証されたようなものだから。
Right. Karisu doesn't die today. Neither does Mayuri. The only person who dies today is Kiryu Moeka. This afternoon, she kills herself. Probably not in this new world line. Well, not new world line, but this new circumstance. I've already told Moeka her fate. But in spite of that, Moeka doesn't seem upset, at least on the surface. She's expressionless, as always. The only difference is that she's not checking her phone as often. But Moeka's not a strong woman. Beneath that expressionless mask, is she struggling against the fear of death? I decide to confront Tenoji directly. I have Karisu stand guard outside the house while Moeka and I go inside. Not that we're planning to break in, we ring the doorbell like honest citizens. Tenoji soon opens the door and invites us into the living room. The divergence meter is sitting in its usual spot. I glance at the numbers. 0.523307%. There's still a long way to go before I reach 1%. How much more of this can I take?
よく来てくれたな。
It's just after dawn, much too early for guests, but Tenoji welcomes us with a smile. He even starts preparing some instant coffee.
ずいぶん早起きなんですね、ミスター・ブラウン。
まあな。苗の学校の時間に合わせてるから、基本的に早起きなんだよ。今夏休み中だが、もう習慣になっちまってる。
お嬢さんはまだ寝ているんですか？
うっせえ。苗のこと聞き出してどうするつもりだ。ネズミを襲おうとしたらマジで殺す。
しませんよ。
I'm more interested in his wife. There's still no sign of her. Is she asleep too? Or could she be hiding somewhere? I'd like to do a thorough search of the house, but of course that's impossible. And then there's what he said just now about seeing Nai off to school. That sounded like something a single father would say. I suspected that FB was Tenoji's wife, but that may have been a mistake. Maybe Tenoji is just another courier after all. Maybe he doesn't even know about FB. There's the possibility that FB might not even be in Akiba. I need answers. But how do I get them? Moeka is just staring at the floor. I can't count on her for any bright ideas. And whether or not Tenoji's wife is FB, I don't think this man will fall for any tricks. I decide to go for the direct approach.
数時間前、この家の前に6人の男が集まり、とあるものを持ってフランスに渡った。そのことについて当然ご存知ですね。
This time, Tenoji doesn't give me his usual macho attitude. He just smiles softly.
それが
IBN5100 あなたは知っているはずだ。
幻のレトロ PC だろ。
This is too easy. He's never this cooperative.
あなたは何者だ？運び屋か、それともラウンダーか。
Instead of answering my question, Tenoji looked straight at Moika.
おめえは裏切ったのか？
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh! I didn't actually expect that to be the case. Shit. He is freaking FB, isn't he? Moika jerks upright. M4 is Moika's codename. Something only FB should know.
もしかして FB
Tenoji laughs once. A dry sound.
フェルディナント・ブラウンって知ってるか？
Moika and I look at each other, confused by the sudden change of topic.
おいおい、ブラウン管を発明したノーベル物理学賞の偉人だぞ。
Tenoji has a thing for brawn tubes. I know that. But what does that have to do with anything? Yeah, FB, come on.
フェルディナント・ブラウン。頭文字は？
FB
そういう。
Oh my god! Oh my god! Ah! Frickin' Mr. Braun! Are you serious? Mr. Braun is a rounder? Oh shit! I was completely played! Tenoji casually produces a handgun. The motion is so smooth and natural that I don't even recognize it as a gun at first. Its heavy form gives off a chilling black luster. The muzzle is pointed at Moika. Moika and I are unarmed. We didn't plan for this. How could we have? We thought FB was Tenoji's wife, not the man himself.
一つ聞かせてください。あなたの奥さんは。
苗を産んだ時に死んだ。
I curse silently. No wonder I've never seen her. She's been dead for years. Tenoji is FB.
そんな。いやいや。
俺への依存の次は現実逃避か？
Oh, man. I had no idea. Even when I knew that he was involved, I was like, oh, well, it isn't actually Mr. Braun. That wouldn't make any sense. But it does. Oh, God. Keeping his gun trained on Moika, the man I knew as Mr. Braun laughed scornfully. We're at an overwhelming disadvantage. I was a fool to believe the direct approach would work. Does that mean that he somehow interfered with Suzuha? Even? Oh, man. Now my recklessness is going to get both of us killed. No, not both of us. I don't die here. I'm here because I time leap on the 16th. That fact is written on the fabric of this world line. So if the attractor field model is right, I can't possibly die now, on the morning of the 15th. My survival is guaranteed by the same force that keeps killing Mayuri. However, Moika has no such protection. She dies today, it doesn't matter how. She could easily die now, right before my eyes. What am I going to do about it? Nothing. It doesn't matter. My goal is to obtain FB's cell phone and send a D-mail to Moika in the past. That's the reason I'm here. In any case, I mustn't let his handgun scare me. There's no turning back now. All I can do is stay on the offensive.
あなたがラウンダーの一員だったとはな。
犬か間違っていない。
Tenoji is like a different person today. He's composed. He doesn't get angry, even when I provoke him. You wouldn't expect a man with a gun to be so calm. Is this who he really is? Was the gruff but good-natured storekeeper just an act?
撃てば銃声で娘が目を覚ます。
だからなんだ。
娘にそんな汚れ仕事をしている姿を見られたいのか。
俺の娘は見た目で判断するような器の小さい女じゃね
I grind my teeth.
よりによってあなたがラウンダーとは。橋田鈴はあなたにそんなことをさせるために世話をしてやったんじゃない。
I mean, that changes everything. Everything about Suzuha and what she did for him. Is that even true? Tenoji's smile stiffens for a second, but then he slaps his knee and laughs.
なんだよおめえ。すずさんのこと知ってんのか。だったらもっと早く言ってくれよ。
Tenoji and I haven't spoken about Suzuha on this world line.
だがな、ずいぶん分かったようなこと言うじゃねえか。すずさんは10年も前に死んだんだ。その当時、岡部は8歳かそこらだろ。なのにすずさんのことが分かるってのか。
わかるさ。
I glare at Tenoji. The anger and frustration are overwhelming.
俺の主観時間では彼女はほんの数週間前までこの時代にいた。
未来を変えるのは君たちにかかってる。私は荷物をこの秋葉原に絶対持ってくるから、お願い、未来を変えてほしい。
Oh man, Suzuha. I still remember her words vividly, though it feels like it's been forever since she spoke them. In objective time, it was just a few days ago.
あなたのすぐ近くにいたんだよ、彼女は。橋田鈴、いや天音鈴葉はセルンと戦うためにこの時代にやってきたタイムトラベラーだ。
日本
気づかなかったのか FB。 あなたの恩人は2036年からやってきたんだよ。我がラボの一員ダルの娘だ。鈴葉はセルンを恨んでいた。なのにその鈴葉に世話になったあなたはセルンの犬か。これでは鈴葉が浮かばれないぞ。
でたらめ言ってんじゃねえよ。
Tenoji thrusts his gun at me. I barely managed to keep from
ど
flinching.
うしてこんなことになった。
うるせえな。いろいろあるんだよ。
Complicated. Is that supposed to be an excuse?
本当に FB。
Moeka looks completely lost. Tenoji sighs and lowers his gun.
ああ、そうだ。
メールは
全部俺が書いた。なぜ女言葉かって？カムフラージュだよ。正体を隠すためのな。ネットでもネカマなんて腐るほどいるだろ。マジな話、大変だったんだぜ M4。メール送りすぎだタコ。おめえのくだらねえ相談に全列してやったんだ。感謝しろ。
そんな FB は私のお母さんみたいな存在で、私は FB のためなら何だって。
そう仕向けたんだよ。おめえみたいなメンヘルは簡単に依存してくれるから操りやすい。
もうやめろ。
I approach Tenoji, but freeze once he points his gun at me again.
なぜ連絡くれなかったの？
連絡？ああ、IBN5100 を手に入れた時点でおめえはもう用済みだからだ。
Jesus, man.
用済み。
That was obvious. I've been telling her this whole time that FB abandoned her. I guess it wasn't real to her until she heard it from FB's own mouth.
ダイレクトメールでメンバーを募集するのは機密性の保持の観点からするとザルだけどな。それがラウンダーのやり方だ。そして IBN5100 を見つけたメンバーは任務達成となり口封じされる。例外なく全員だ。
Wow. What? What is he saying?
そうすることでセルンと委員会は機密を保持しつつ安い金で俺たちみたいなはみ出し者を利用してるわけだ。あいつらにしてみればラウンダーは全員駒さ。悲しいことにな。
Without dropping his smile, Tenochi takes his gun.
任務達成はすなわち処分確定。扱いとしては犬っつうより家畜だな。
And presses it against the side of his head.
逆らえば家族が危険にさらされるんだ。大事な娘に手出しさせられねえだろ。おい、よせ。スゼさんには悪いと思ってるよ。
Don't do it, Mr. Braun.
本当。なんでこんなことになったんだろうな。
Oh! He pulls the trigger. Brains splatter against the wall. Tenochi's massive body drops to the floor and sprawls out, motionless. A dark red stain begins to spread over the tatami mats. He's dead. Tenochi is dead. It's over. And I still don't understand what happened. He would have killed himself, even if we hadn't confronted him? Was his death too the will of fate? Tenochi had completed his mission. Maybe he chose to eliminate himself, face CERN assassins. I bite down hard on my lip. I pound my fists into the floor. He meant to protect her with his sacrifice. But what is Nai supposed to do now? All-rounders are expendable, he said. Does that mean FB was just another pawn? Is that how CERN operates? That's insanity. This can't be real. Nai, is she still asleep in the room next door, blissfully unaware of her father's suicide? How do I explain this to her? Should I run? Again, strictly speaking, my purpose is to obtain FB's phone. Once I send the D-mail and change the world line, all of this will be undone. I can run like a coward. No one will know. I'll know. I timidly slide open the door to Nai's bedroom. Oh man. It looks like you'd expect. There's a red backpack hanging next to the desk, and there's a futon laid out on the floor. But Nai isn't there. The window is open. The lace curtains are waving, as if to invite the fresh morning breeze inside. Where did she go? No, don't tell me CERN kidnapped her. I don't even know if she was here when we arrived. None of this makes sense. This isn't the world I know. I need Tenochi's phone. I'm relieved Nai isn't here. I don't have to tell her about her father's death. I find Tenochi's phone in his pants pocket. I was ready to kill him for it if I had to. I never thought he would kill himself. And now I'm looting his dead body like a hyena, scavenging for scraps of meat. I make myself want to puke. I leave as soon as I have the phone, dragging the catatonic Moeka with me. We regroup with Kurisu, who is worried sick waiting outside, and hail a taxi. I wish we hadn't spent so much time parked near Tenochi's house. Once the body is found, the police might come trace the rental car back to us. Maybe we should have reported it first, but I'd rather not have to answer any questions. Besides, soon, none of this will have happened. God damn. Damn. I cannot believe that. I didn't have a clue that Mr. Braun was in on it. Oh, man, this game. Anyway, unfortunately, that is where I need to end the stream for tonight. I've got work coming up, and I work until the middle of tomorrow morning. So yeah, I should have some time to stream a bit more tomorrow. So we will pick up then. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. I know I am thoroughly engrossed. And yeah, I will see you all next time.